Any update on Dale Fry's injury?
No, not really. We're still looking at Dale, assessing of where he's at. Sorry, I haven't got much to give you on that one.
Given that he might be out for an extended period of time, what solutions do you have for the injury crisis that you've got ongoing?
Yeah, I don't know how long Dale's going to be out, so we'll have to see if any amount of time at all. So we'll assess that. We've got 2 games this week, and then we've got a bit of a break. We got to make the best of the situation we've got. You know, Johnny came back the other day, largely very, very much ahead of schedule, and pushed him to be back and got back on the pitch. And we know what Johnny brings. You know, his experience and having him back, but he hasn't done an awful lot of training. So we'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, we got a squad of players. We got to find a way.
You were pretty damning on the performance on Saturday. What's the messaging been like in the days since? Yeah,
we were all disappointed. I think we all know that we didn't start the game particularly well, and I thought we finished the game pretty well actually for the last 25 minutes or so. I thought we looked like we would get back in the game. So it wasn't all too negative. We got to move on, you know. We know what we need to do to give us a chance of winning games, and we didn't do enough of that for certainly the start of the game. So we got to fix that.
And finally, for me, just looking ahead to the rest of the season, are the playoffs still a realistic goal for yourselves?
Are the
playoffs still a realistic goal?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's very realistic, you know. It's 5 points or so, and it's very tight there. So it's very realistic. It's up to us to do enough to get there. Of course it is, and other teams have got to drop points, but it's definitely realistic. Yeah.
Cheers, Michael.
Obviously, kind of what was your attitude to the loss at the weekend? Kind of a bit of a momentum crusher, maybe.
Sorry, I missed the
start. A bit of a momentum crusher, the loss of the weekend, wasn't it? After two good wins on the bounce, and then kind of. Yeah,
in some ways, but it's just as a one-off game. It was. We went down there hoping for much more, you know, and we had a couple of wins, which is great, but then 2 wins don't mean anything. Just like the results before, whatever they were, the next game is the most important one, and. So we didn't get what we wanted at all, and we've gotten that chance. That's the great thing. We've gotten that chance in tomorrow, and we got to get things back in the right direction for sure.
And kind of obviously you've got that chance to kind of put things right tomorrow. How good is it to actually have a game in such quick succession to kind of put things right again?
Yeah, we can't put it right because that's done and it's finished with. So we can't change that, but we can definitely improve, and we're capable of doing that. So it's that's something we got an opportunity to put into practice, you know, and the boys have prepared, recovered well, prepared, and give it everything we got again.
Obviously a really positive result last time you played QPR away, 4-1 win. Is that something you can kind of play on to kind of give the boys a bit of confidence before tomorrow's game?
No, I think it's a long time ago. It's largely two different teams really, and in many ways. I think confidence-wise, I think the way we finished the game, I think the way we played, and as I said, for that last spell, shows when we do certain things, what we give ourselves a much better chance of being in games and a chance to win games. So we'll take more from that than anything.
And kind of finally, obviously, you've had so many injuries at centre back. You must be cursing your luck a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's it's been an incredible kind of run. There's no getting away from it, and injuries that are just sudden impact injuries where players have fallen on top or they've twisted or instant impact, and it's very hard to explain sometimes, and that's what we've been given, and there's no point feeling sorry for ourselves and moaning about it. We got to get on with it, and that's what we'll do.
What's the latest on Eric? Pete, is any decision there?
No latest, no.
When do you expect the decision? Because I guess like the injuries clearly make there's an urgency there because of the injuries, and you haven't got an awful lot of games left.
Yeah, there's not really. It was never a kind of a decision to be made. You know, Carrick did train with us some days last week with something to look at, but there's no update on that.
Is he still training?
he wasn't in with the group today. No.
Oh no, is that finished now then, or is he?
No, it's something that was just ongoing. It's not like a final scenario or a big decisive thing. It's just we explored it. We were looking at different things, and Eric trained with us last week. Came with us. That's it. As I said, I've no update any further on it.
Just on the defence, I know you say that like you can't plan for the injuries you've had over the last few weeks, but when you were asked about signing a defender in January, you obviously decided against it. Just ask what your thinking was there. Why you decided at the time not to bring one.
You can only have so many players in your squad, and I understand now. It looks very easy to say that. Why didn't we sign another defender? Why didn't we have another 2 defenders or three defenders? It's how many do you have for starters? We got 3 centre backs, fantastic centre backs. We got Luke Aylan's played centre back. We got Johnny Howson who can play centre back. How many players can you have in your squad? To have 3 of you kind of arguably your main centre backs all injured for 2 ankles and a knee that purely impact injuries, you know, it's very difficult to cover everything in that regard. It's pretty extreme. So that is what it is, you know, and we just got to move on and make the most of what we've got.
And I know you said last week Harley's had an injury. I think James Wilson has been injured again this year. Clearly it'd be a huge ask to throw a young lad in now anyway. Is that an option? Is there anyone?
Yeah, young Josh as well. Young Josh injured his foot and his toe, and it looked like he might have fractured his toe the other day. So there's quite a few, and it's not just us, as I say. Harley's hamstring and James unfortunately his knee. So it's not just the first team part of the football club. It's a little bit underneath that as well, which makes it a little bit more difficult as we go on.
Woody doesn't fancy a game, does he, tomorrow night?
Have you seen him move?
You said after the game on Saturday that there are things to address. What a couple of days on now, the dust has settled. What are they? Yeah,
no, listen, that's for me and the players and to dissect and understand, you know, and keep that between us. In some ways, it's things we weren't happy about that, and ultimately in the end, the performance and the result, you know. So, but again, the positive, I thought we finished the game particularly well. Actually, for 25 minutes, we looked like we should have got something from the game, and for how disappointing we are to have the game in the balance and still be like that, and to feel like we underperformed and still feel like probably still should have got something out of the game. Shows that when we're decent or half decent, we've still got a hell of a chance of winning games, and we've got to give ourselves a better chance than what we did on Saturday.
It's not very often you're publicly critical of players after a game. Did you feel let down?
No, it's all of us. It's all of us. It wasn't just. I never blamed the players. It's all of us, you know.
Was the performance a surprise? Though the level of the performance was that.
Yeah, no. Listen, the performance for us, as I said to you, you know, that wasn't us. That wasn't us. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to say that. I don't need to go into any more detail of that. But we were disappointed as a group of how we all done, and got another chance to kind of improve and put things on the right path tomorrow night.
And just finally from me, you're probably going to need, I don't know, 6-7 wins from the last 10 games. Can you do that? Because consistency has been a problem.
No, it has been, but yeah, we can definitely do that, yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt, I fully believe we can do that. Words are words, you know, and I can sit here and say that, but I genuinely believe that, yeah, we can do that. But you're going to have to do. It's the only choice.
Thank you.
When you're assessing the season, Michael, we've talked about consistency. Can you kind of put your finger on exactly why you haven't been able to have that consistent run of results?
It can be many things really that lead to that. It can be many things. I think in terms of assessing the season right now, I think we're in the thick of it, and we've got a big week. So I don't want to look back too much right now. It's learn from what we can in terms of the performances and what we need. That's going to help us come in this week, really, ultimately at this point.
Yeah. On the injury front, I know we spoke about the prevention side of it the other week, and you mentioned, you know, there's been a lot of kind of impact injuries, but there is muscle injuries in it as well. And I guess over the last 2 seasons, not just this, the injuries are, you know, massively up, and you've mentioned the impacted there as well. Does there need to be a kind of, you know, a wider review or a closer look at that, or indeed has there already been? Because presumably that, you know, you'll want that to be cut down significantly.
Yeah, I think throughout football, to be honest, I think you look at a lot of clubs in different ways. The injuries are a factor. I think the a big unfortunate thing for us, it's happened in the same position, and similar thing towards last season when we had 2 or 3 in a similar position. That's what makes it more difficult. I think every squad can cope with injuries if there's a spread, but when it's in one part of the team, then it does become more challenging. Having said that, I think we can still feel a very good team, and as I said, we just got to get on with that side of things.
Yeah, you've obviously been in the game as a player and then a coach for a very long time. Have you known anything like this before?
This is pretty extreme at the moment. Yeah, there's no getting away from it. And as I said, I think it's just most of it is in the same position, and it makes it, and it's an important position for that reason, you know. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. It's no point me sit here and keep talking about things, you know. We've been dealt with what we've been dealt, and we've got to take it and get on with it.
Yeah, I mentioned there potentially looking towards the academy. I mean, obviously you've mentioned before, and you have given plenty of opportunities to academy players. What's in the thinking there? I mean, this is obviously a high pressure situation. Presumably, above all else, the players have got to be, you know, ready at this stage in their career. Yeah,
there's different things. I think there's obviously the team and the club's needs for the next game and the game after. There's the individual player as well of where they're at, the younger players, and are they ready for it? Is it fair on them almost, you know? And there's different situations. That this is not just about this week. That's the decision that you always think when you're talking about playing young players. And it depends what's available, you know, and what's thrown upon you. So sometimes the decision's taken out your hands, and you kind of maybe forced upon it a little bit. But yeah, there's an awful lot goes into it, and you there's definitely the team's needs, but there's certainly as a younger player that they need to be in the right place, in the right frame of mind, and ready to take that chance or put in that situation. And I think that's the fair thing to do.
Yeah, because it's easy to kind of sit here and just say, "Oh, just throw a young kid in." That's what they're there for. But presumably, you know, if they're not quite ready for it, that can be, you know, detrimental longer term to them. Yeah,
it can be. That's obviously the decision. I do have a lot of faith in our younger players, you know, and if any of them have got to play at some point and will play at some point, then it's fantastic to get them on the pitch and that next step in their career. You know, it's fantastic. It's what the academy's here for. So. But sure, that's a decision. If we've got senior players that can play, then that might be the case, you know. But it's just a decision that we'll have to make.
Yeah, just finally from me, Josh scored again for Millwall at the weekend, and after the game, Alex Neil mentioned that they'd like to sign him in the summer. I mean, at this stage, I know there's still a lot of football to play and a lot of time before that becomes a decision to make. But would you be open to a sale of Josh in the summer? What's his position currently as far as you?
Yeah, Josh is there and he's doing well. To be honest, he's come back fit. He's had a stop-start season, and good to see him doing well and scoring goals. He's got some really, really important goals as well for them. So, yeah, I mean, that's it really at this stage. You know, there's nothing for me to decide on at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously had, as you say, a stop-start season. He's got some important goals. Can he still, with the remaining time in this season, kind of convince you that he has a future at this club?
Anything can happen in football. Anything can happen in football. There's no until something's decided or done or finished with, then it's ongoing. Everything is, you know, and that doesn't change for Josh or anybody else. Sometimes they might not be in the team here, but all of a sudden you get in the team and then they change. So there's never anything. It's all said and done until it's fully signed off.
Cheers, Michael.
Well, it was a long way back from Swansea on Saturday. But what made it even further really was that it seemed a long way from Stoke and Derby. Can we get back to playing in that way?
From the Stoke and the Derby game,
as we were playing in those games?
Yeah, that's football. Of course we can. Like, it's one game. We might have a good performance. We haven't played well in as well as we wanted. It doesn't mean we can't play well again. We've got good players and we can be a good team when we play a certain way. So of course we can get back to it. That goes without saying.
And you said after the Stoke game about you were happy about how the players expressed themselves, and we saw the movement, how competitive we were, and the sort of clinical cutting edge. And does that sort of show to you that even without Latilath and Doak, that we have the tools to really take teams to task, really.
Yeah, of course we do. I fully believe that. We got good players, really good players, and yeah, it's part of football. You're gonna have players. You've got a squad. You're gonna lose certain players. Some players are in form. Some players are out of form. And that's how it is, you know. And but the team and the squad we've got now, then yeah, we're fully capable, no doubt.
And is that what gives you the belief that we are capable of still challenging for playoff?
Yeah, I said it before. Yeah, it's realistic. It's realistic, and I firmly believe that. I've not changed. I didn't change, to be honest. Going into the Stoke game, I still believed it. We won 2, still believed it. We've lost 1, I still believe it. It's all to play for.
Sorry, Maggie, we didn't ask you about individuals. Rav, have you got to the bottom of that yet? Do you know how long you're looking at?
Yeah, hopefully towards the end of international break, maybe. Not long after.
George, similar.
Yeah, we're hoping for a little bit, but probably similar. Yeah.
And Riley, a bit in the national break as well.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah. So
will he be going to Australia? Sorry, I don't know if they've got games. Will he be going to?
I wouldn't have thought so, because he hasn't trained with us yet, so it's pretty impossible to go away on internationals.